I'm terrible with that. I try so hard to find different ways to remind myself, and I'm terrible. I don't ever remember. So, okay. What's up? I'm so glad to see everyone. Can you guys hear me okay? Is the sound all right? Yeah, we're good. Okay. I didn't tell my kids to be quiet for this hour. We're gonna go until 6 o'clock. I know we have class if you would like to join us at 6:30, but we'll take a little 30-minute break. I'll need to get my mat set up and throw some food at my kids and you know all of that stuff. So we'll go till 6 o'clock, okay? But right now I didn't tell my kids to be quiet. So if there's background noise, same thing for you. And that's only relevant because let's take just a minute or two to ground and connect and arrive into this that we're doing. So wherever you are, just close your eyes and take a big breath in and let it out. And draw the wings of your shoulders on your back in toward each other, and let your heart open and lift, and even your chin lift and your spine stretch up and lengthen from the inside. And then very intentionally take a few breaths, breathing all up and down that column of your spine. Recognizing it not only as physical, but energetic, Sushumna Nadi, the central channel of energy. As spiritual, that which connects above, connects so below to the earth and the sky and all that is beyond. Into spirit, into God, into all that is, that created all that is. And then feel yourself a part of that. And feel yourself that you are that. And notice if you get a little buzz from that. I hope you do, because that's you. And see yourself, just start to see almost as if there's stars of light and a constellation, your immediate loved ones around you. And beyond them into your community. And starting to see every living anything as a little star of light, all in and around and of you. And then see all of that as if it draws right into the center of your heart, like one jewel spark of light. And breathe it. And begin to blink your eyes open gently. Okay. So we begin on a loopy high note. So I invite you to turn on your microphones. This is a Q&A. We're going to talk about the program. Most of you, almost everybody received the booklet and that very in-depth email. I know that there have been some questions. Jessica had some questions this morning. Jas, I see you. I know you're doing mama stuff. How'd that all work out? Will you tell everyone your question and what was what?
What was my question was immediately panic about not being able to have breakfast, and do I have to have broth? And what about the overnight oats versus the broth? And what should I do? I have to have everything
Yeah.
just right. Yeah.
I love that. That was amazing. So, okay. So right now for today is Friday, tomorrow is Saturday, and then it's Sunday. I'm making that identification for myself because I spent half of the day not having a clue what day it was. And that's been kind of the situation perpetually since about 2 weeks ago. So I'll catch up. But today was a here's your booklet, here's your meditation. Take a look through. You've got your nidra, see what you need, see what you have, and we're doing this. And now tomorrow will be, and even today, like the first recipes that sound good to you, just go ahead and like make a shopping list for those and then see what you have. And then use common intuitive sense to make replacements wherever you feel, well, I have this, I don't have that. You don't have to ask. This isn't like a, no, no, you have to do this. The restrictives as far as food goes pretty simply laid out are processed sugar specifically. There's maple syrup in there, but there are so many minerals and so many beneficials to maple syrup that, it's like fat. It's like non-fat is not a thing, not a good thing, right? So there's beneficial and not beneficial, but processed sugars are out, processed foods are out. And I made mention somewhere along the line that's, I know a lot of people like seitan and tofu and something else there was, but they're processed, and so I don't really know what that means. So I figure, like, okay, we can do without it for a week. There's so many other ways. Okay, bone broth, right? I know a lot of cleanses and detoxes are all about like, no animal products, and certainly there's no dairy in this program, and no dairy substitutes because they're processed. Um, and, bone broth is extraordinarily beneficial, especially for this time of year. Yeah, Jess, go ahead.
So I've never done any kind of like broth thing other than in soup. Do you just drink it? Because I did get it. I got my Whole Foods delivery like 10 minutes ago. I'm super pumped. I'm super confused.
Okay,
I have
cool.
a
Ask
lot of
all the
veggies.
questions.
I
Ask
don't
all the
know.
questions.
I don't even know how much kale I got, but it's a lot.
Okay. Okay,
I
great.
got like 48 pounds of ginger by accident.
That's amazing. Use it in everything. So look, okay, right? Essentially, what you're set up with is an arsenal of seasonal goodness. And whatever you choose to take or leave from the program, you're still in bounds. You're still in bounds. I've given you so many tools to use. Some people are seasoned and experienced in doing Ayurvedic practices, so that part of it really is okay, well, I already do that. Some people are already super clean eaters. Some people already exercise every day. Some of us have been doing jack shit for the last few months and are like, okay, maybe I'll do a couple of things, you know? Right? So, regardless of how much you do, you're doing amazing. So, let's just go right ahead and lead in with that. Okay. If you're home and you're like, I don't have lentils, but I have, Great Northern, or I don't want beans, or I made some hummus. Great. Okay. I've given you in that email lots of food blogs, right? To scroll through. So here's the gist of it. Like if you even Google like clean, healthy soups and do that, but I've given you like 3 or 4 soup bases, two of them with variations with that base. Khichdi, you could live off of khichdi, you could live off of Buddha bowls all week. Make a pot of khichdi, the rice and lentils with the Ayurvedic spices that like stimulate digestion, and it's like a perfect complete protein and perfect balance of carbohydrates. And you make the honey miso sauce, and you put some steamed or lightly cooked you want to be mindful not to eat a lot of raw vegetables this time of year. It's difficult for your body to assimilate. So by having foods that are even lightly cooked, you're helping get it forward from that fiery digestive process that it needs to do it, that we just simply don't have this time of year. Okay. In the cleanse booklet, when I give you, or in the email, when I gave you the sample menu breakdown, I'm good without breakfast. And so instead of having a second cup of coffee, because I get a really good high quality coffee, Jessica, that place in Massapequa, right around the corner from that restaurant Jam over by the train station, Massapequa Park, whatever, find a single origin, clean coffee, make sure that it doesn't have mold. That's one of the big issues with coffee. Make sure that it's not highly processed. And have a cup of nice coffee and make it like a ritual. Even get like a little mocha maker and order some mocha from Italy. You know that I'm all about it. But it's clean and it's wonderful and it's healthful. Now, when you start getting into extremes and you start getting into too much of it, of anything, it's a situation. So if you're saying like, oh, I can't do that, well, right there, right there is a pause. If you went no further in the next 10 days with grappling with yourself over why you cannot get through the day without Taster's Delight coffee creamer. Seriously, think about that. I can't see, Jess. I'm blind as AF. What does it say? I can't see. What are you doing?
Well, since we can't have like wine, what about other things that are,
Oh, again,
you know,
I leave that into the common sense
common sense?
of your own choice, of your own choice.
Got it.
No, I mean, this is all about what comes from God's green earth, without being processed, hence the distinction of wine, because I love wine. And you want to know, like, next summer when we're doing this in Mallorca, July 10th to 17th, and we'll talk about that. That's just going to be a girlfriend's trip with all this food and stuff. I already have the villa, but um the point of doing this is not so that we can take from it deprivation. It's so that we can take from it enjoying everything as a choice and making choices that are, I'm just going to say it, truly in alignment with the earth, truly in balance of, what we would never be deprived of. So why would we? Yeah, Becky.
So I have organic homemade wine.
Hmm.
Is that good or not good?
My darling friend, I leave it up to
All
you
right. All
to
right.
discern
Right.
that. I really truly do. Look, like, well, I really love having a neat martini at 5 o'clock every evening. No.
It's all right. It's not,
But if
it's 10 days and you kind of, work with that. I get it.
but Becky, if I still had one of my really special bottles of red wine that I had brought back from my last trip to Rome during this week after a nice bath, knowing that, Erin would have a glass and maybe my girlfriend Christina would come over and it wouldn't be wasted because if I wouldn't open it if I didn't have people to help me
Right.
finish it.
Right.
But I can't say that I wouldn't.
Right. I got you. I got you.
Because I've done this program, like I said, since 2012 many times, and there are times that I was like, I mean, cure meant different things at different stages of my life. There were times when it was like I needed discipline.
Right.
So I followed it because I was scattered, I was all over the place, I was not disciplined. There were other times where I felt that I needed to be nourished. And when I was young, I really balanced on anemia
Okay.
And sometimes I still get that like malnourished sort of feeling. And that's when I started adding in the bone broth. That's where that happened because I really recognized no matter how much protein I was taking in, not having that type of protein, it wasn't working for me. I mean, I've even tried living a vegan lifestyle and I get
Right.
unwell,
Right.
right? So while I may say bone broth is a welcome added addition to this, for some people, they may know their bodies and they're like, I don't do well with animal protein. Then
Okay.
admit.
Mm.
And if
So is
yours, it's
is the bone broth fresh, like you buy it fresh in Whole Foods, or you just take a bone and you start boiling it?
well, it's up to you how chefy you feel like getting.
Oh,
Although
okay.
Although, so if you go to Whole Foods, the better brand, and this is all in the email and in the
Good.
booklet, which I know we'll connect after on.
Yes.
Um, Brodo is the best one, and they have a store in Manhattan. They have a number of locations in Manhattan, and you can get cups of broth sent to you, but just get it from Whole Foods if you can.
Yeah.
The other option is to make it. And if
Right.
you do make it now, the key thing with that is you have to find a butcher who works with good quality local farms. There's one in Brooklyn that I can send anybody to. There's also there's like meat CSAs, but being that it's like this late in the game, it's possible, it's definitely possible to get the bones. And so you would roast them first with some soup vegetables, basic mirepoix, carrot, onion, celery is a basic mirepoix, just for your all of your knowledge. You can always use it as a base in soups.
Yeah.
You would roast the bones with it with a generous salt and pepper. And you need to break the bones because that's what helps release all of the collagen and
Right.
everything before
Right.
you roast. And then you would simmer it in a big stock pot of water with about half a cup of apple cider vinegar. And the vinegar is what helps release the nutrients. When I'm doing this detox in the past, many times, I've roasted it, I've gotten it going in a pot, and I've put it in a crock pot, and I've kept it going the entire time that I'm doing it. And every time I have vegetables, I just like throw them in it and throw them in it and add more water and add more water and keep it going.
So,
But
Cher, are you just like drinking a cup of it?
yeah,
Or are you like, yeah.
yeah. And there's a recipe for it in the booklet. You know, it's like a cup and you add like a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, some turmeric or any other adaptogenic powder that you have, and a fresh ground of pepper, especially if it's turmeric. You pepper delivers it into your system. Yes, exactly. Right? So that's one that, a broth with the vinegar, especially this time of year, just wait. Oh, it's so nourishing. Like you feel it. And Brodo also has a smoked mushroom and I think it's Pacific kombu broth that's vegan, that has that same quality that the bone broths have, and they keep it vegan. And I take all three. So I mean, all both. I'll leave it at that. They make a few, and they use all heritage products and organic. Really, really, really good. So the broth in the morning, try it as a breakfast supplement. It also helps stimulate your digestion. It helps with elimination and re-nourishing. You can absorb it. It's absorbable, and especially after you've done the tongue cleaning.
Right.
Especially after you've done the tongue cleaning, and you pull toxins out with the oil. You know, has anybody?
I went to the website to the Amazon and I only saw the brush. I didn't see the tongue cleaning apparatus, I guess.
Oh, really?
I
Did you
just
guys, did anybody else see everything? I can send it to you again, Becky.
yeah, I just saw the brush.
Okay.
So I've been doing a little bit of that though. A little bit of
Yeah.
the brushing.
Good. The booklet explains all of it. So you start from your fingertips, right? And you go in long strokes, right?
Okay.
You do the center of your palms, the backs of your arms, right? All the way. Same thing from your legs, the tops of your feet, the soles of your feet, the backs of your knees. You work all the way up, and everything is in toward the heart, right? You get your neck, and use even your nails on your scalp. Work some of the oil into your scalp and watch your hair turn to like liquid gold. It's incredible. I swear to God, I don't know why I ever stopped doing this stuff. It's
You
absurd because
know,
every time I do it, I'm like, oh, it's all so amazing, right?
yeah.
And then you take the oils, the sesame or olive this time of year, and you like warm it. And that's the kind of motion you do on your joints, the fronts and backs. And then you work its way up, and you start on your feet and you get each arm.
Okay.
And you only wash the necessary parts in the shower. You don't wash the oil off. When you get out, you're like pressing it in with a towel, including the moisture,
Okay.
you know. And then by the time you're done getting dressed and you're out of the
You're
shower,
like,
then you're done
ah,
with the oil pulling. Yeah. Yeah, then you're done with the oil pulling. And that's usually when I have a cup of broth because sometimes I have breakfast after my meditation, like I'll have a cup of broth then instead of coffee. I start with the broth. I'll go and have my meditation. You're so clear. It's like all of a sudden it's like ping, you know? I mean, as far as like getting to next levels of why we seek, what we seek from meditation, this is definitely one of those times because, it's like you're clearing out all of the sludge. Like even just the practice in and of itself is a meditation. That morning ritual. It's divine.
it sounds like it.
It's divine. And you just have to get up like 30 minutes earlier
Yeah.
than you normally would if you're on a clock. It's
Mhm.
really, it's like, and then you just sit and you do your practice and you're so straight for the day. Um, you pay more attention to your rhythms. Now, if you get tired in the middle of the day, which are rhythms, natural rhythms that we have, and if you have the opportunity to take a nap and you recognize that you make a million reasons and a million busy little things to not be able to take a nap, but really, really you could, please do it
Yeah.
because it's really fascinating. You know, we resist out of this like guilt that we have, of with this guilt that we have, and it's cultural, it's our American culture for sure. And, you know, the funny thing is that when you actually go and you listen to your body and you take those naps and you give it that chance to recharge, you're far more productive. You get like way more done in any 20-minute block of time than you do when you fight through it and you're like fighting to focus and all over the place. And now what could have taken you 20 minutes takes you 2 hours when you could have just taken a 20-minute disco nap. That's what we used to call it. That nap before you would get dressed and get ready to go out.
Right. Right.
At like
Yeah.
9 o'clock at night, you take
Yeah.
a nap.
And
Anyway,
you're good to go after that.
good to go all night long. So that's really what it's about. That's really what it's about. Clean eating. Clean eating as far as the food goes.
Well, I've been feeling very unhealthy
Mm-hmm.
and sluggish, and I was thinking about it, and I said, you know what? I really need to do this.
Yes, I'm so glad.
I really need to do it. I
It's
really do.
it's really wonderful. And then the movement, so Chris Ferraro, who I included in the email with all of his information, is a fantastic personal trainer. And he has those classes. Some are available on Zoom, some are live and in person. I know he was doing Eisenhower Park. I don't know where he is now, but I included all of his contact information there for you. And then the class, I will someday reach out to them. I know a couple of their teachers personally going back, but I haven't. So I don't have a discount code for you, but they do offer 2 weeks free. Talk about lifting your spirit and getting things going. It's fabulous. Fabulous. So much fun. I mean, I started doing it in March at the beginning of the pandemic. Erin and I started doing it, and my kids thought that we had absolutely lost our mind because you'll be like doing something and she's like, make some noise, like make some sound, and you're like, ah, and they're like, what is going on? And we're like, ah, like we were going for it, we were going for it. And sometimes you just gotta like go for it. Like even at least like go to the beach and let out a big real roar, or into a forest, like gotta let it out. So you can let it out with the class too. And then there's another movement, Rachel on Instagram, who I included. She does fun little like 20-30 minute workouts with like light weights, traditional kind of body sculpting stuff.
Right.
For and then whom else? I know I included another, I don't recall. But yeah, what other questions? Anything else about like food and menu planning? I know I keep bringing that up because it's generally where people get the most like tripped up.
Hmm. So does this program start, or you start whenever you want, or is it going to start like on Monday or something like that?
Well, so officially we started today, insofar that today was I'll get you the booklet, Becky. We'll connect after,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You'll get the email with all of the
Yes.
instructions, right? So today was the go through that and start to get a feel for, what it is and how it works and what's included and so on and so forth, and start kind of wrapping your brain around how you want to go about doing this. When will I be able to exercise?
Yes.
What time will I need to get up in the mornings? When do I practically have downtime, especially for, parents with little ones still in the house? Like, when will I need to make time for myself? What evenings can I take a detox bath?
Okay.
Like what would be a good evening to do a detox bath? And
Okay.
do I have my journal? Let me clean up my room. Like, where's my eye pillow? Ooh, the sleep meditation. Start doing the sleep meditation tonight.
Okay.
There's a guided nidra in there.
Oh, nice. I love it. I
Yes.
mean, what you're mentioning, I'm kind of thinking, and I have the eye pillow.
Yeah.
I am working in the school, so like I'm up at 5:30. I
Okay.
would have time for that.
Okay.
And then after school, I'm home by 4:30. So
Perfect. So yeah, and then so tomorrow you'll really start figuring out like what is your menu going to be for the
yes.
week, because menu planning is the only way to really be able to, you know, um do this successfully and make lifestyle changes with food
Okay.
successfully. You just do. You have to have some kind of an
Yes.
idea of what you're eating, right? So you'll think practically about your week. Like, what is your week like? Really, how much can you prep in advance? And I do give you an advanced list. Make like the honey miso dressing and or the buvette vinaigrette.
Mm,
Make the bread, the seeded bread. You'll be so happy that you did if you want to have breakfast or for snacks. Make a pot of khichdi or make the paella and make like 2 soups and a sheet of roasted vegetables. And if you portion it out, and the thing is, I show you in the booklet how the soups, you could say like, okay, I'm gonna make butternut squash and I'm gonna make curried parsnip apple. So I just make one base, and then I have two blenders. I put the base in with the squash in the blender. I make that soup. Voila, it's done. Base back in the blender, put the parsnip apples. Voila, it's done. Okay, it goes into 4 mason jars, 2 in the freezer, 2 in the fridge. There's my sheet of roots.
Oh,
There's my lentils and quinoa. I'm gonna have Buddha bowls. I've got the miso dressing. Makes sense.
yeah. So I'm excited to go shopping tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Does anybody, like, has anybody looked through any of the questions or any of the recipes? And no,
I've looked through them, and that's what scares me.
tell
Cause,
me.
and I cook, but I've been cooking, I guess, like a certain way,
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, we
you
all do.
know. And I don't know, like, I don't even know what miso is. I bought it.
Which one did you
It's
get?
whichever one you had put on. I got everything from Whole Foods.
No,
And Ava was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Ah,
I put 2 on. I put red and yellow. Which one did you get?
yellow, yellow."
Okay, taste it.
Taste it by itself.
Yeah, just get a little spoon and taste it.
Okay.
And let Ava taste them. And uh help me out, Jess. Um
Aiden. Oh, I know it's with an A.
This is why I love you. Yeah, go taste it.
So wait, question. So okay, I wake up. I'm so happy I can have my coffee. Like I'll do my meditation stuff. I have my coffee. I have to be. I'm too much of a planner to just
Yes, no,
wing.
I love it.
Yeah.
Before you have
So
your
I have my
coffee, you
broth.
tongue clean
I bought the
and
tongue cleaner.
oil pull.
I got the oil stuff.
So you have to do that before you eat or
Got
drink
it.
anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, even if you oil pull for 5 minutes, but you do want to slowly build up to 20 minutes. Okay. Even if you do it like after this 3 times a week, this is one of those practices that, it's a shame that we were given fluoride, which is actually like degenerative on our brains, than a tongue cleaner and oil. But we weren't.
Oh.
So, okay.
And I can have the kids do it if they can do it.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, Ava will try it, but she won't even.
Not swallow it or
Right.
put it down the drain because it'll clog up drains. You got to put it in the basket.
Okay.
It has to go in the trash. Yeah.
Is it a coconut oil?
You can use any oil. You can use sesame, olive. I like coconut oil, and I have a little jar of it that's like this big, and I mix some peppermint oil in it.
Oh.
And then, so I have a little glass dish, and I fill it with hot tap water because I only keep a little bit of oil in the jar, and I put it in there so that it starts to melt. Right? Because I don't like it when it's not melted. I just don't.
Right.
And I'll tongue clean while that's doing it and floss. Wait till you see how white your teeth get. It's crazy. It's like it's crazy from oil pulling. And then like I'll take the oil and then I'll do all of the dry brushing and the oil massaging, and I'll get in the shower and wash the parts and and get out and dab, put on my cozy clothes. By that point, done. Brush my teeth, go and have some hot water with lemon or broth,
Right. Right.
have a meditation, coffee time. And I spoil myself with coffee. I just do because it's so delicious. And I have like my little cup that I got in Italy. It's just
Any particular type of coffee we should drink, or any coffee?
No, you just want to make sure that it like you get a good quality coffee that's, just look into like, you know, coffee without mold. Where can I buy it? Order it from Amazon. I hate to
Oh,
say it, but you can look for small sellers on Amazon that isn't, and
okay.
still support small businesses there. And have a nice cup of coffee or a cup of green tea or
I
hot
drink
water
green
with
tea.
lemon. Yeah. You
That's me.
know?
I like to have my coffee as a treat,
Yeah.
but on a daily, I have green tea.
Yeah. And then in the evenings, there's when you get into the booklet, there's a delicious, delicious drink, Ayurvedic drink with like all of the like cardamom and honey and ghee. So there's also a recipe to make your own almond milk. And if you've never done it, it's so simple. Please try it. It's such a treat, but you will need a cheesecloth.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you will
Yep.
need a cheesecloth. So you just basically you either soak the almonds overnight or you blanch them,
Okay.
I think for an hour or something like that, and you pop them out of the shells, the skins, I'm sorry. And you put them into a food processor or blender. I have a Vitamix,
Mm-hmm.
with some water and a little bit of maple syrup and a tiny little sprinkle of salt, and it is like divine.
Sounds like it. I mean, we buy the almond milk from but I,
Oh,
I will be making some.
it's heavenly. It's heavenly.
So
Yeah.
you put a little salt and maple
Yeah,
syrup?
there's a recipe for it in the booklet.
Great.
Yeah. It's really special.
I'm
It's really
excited.
yeah, it's special. And then movement, like plan out your movement. So that's what this weekend is, right? So you had today, tomorrow, and Sunday to look at your schedule, to plan, to start integrating the movement, the meditation, the sleep portion of it. And then, we'll add the eating part of it on Monday. And when we do, you'll wake up Monday morning and it won't be a thought. You'll already know what
Yes.
you're gonna go for. Whether it's overnight oats, there's a recipe for roasted grapefruit, which is delicious, by the way. Oh, it's so delicious. And it's like the simplest thing in the world to make. So so that's what this weekend is. That's preparing.
Okay.
I'm gonna be available for your questions all weekend. We have class at 6:30. We have class and then a meeting Sunday. So if you can make class from 9 to 10, classic Raja Vinyasa. I do not teach like, hey John, what's up? I do not teach that's Jessica's husband. Oh, she has her earbuds in. Hey John. I don't teach, I'm not the yoga teacher that's like, how complicated of a shape can we get into? And I love those types of practices because they're very engaging for me. But I find I like we'll do another practice. We've already done one based on the works of Vanda Scarvelli, which is like moving your spine independent from within your body. Um, so that's Sunday morning, but so we'll be together Sunday. You should, I hope that everybody's already received your day one of the 31-day meditation in your email this morning. It should have been there at 5 a.m. Um, right. So, and then Monday starts the food. And, you know, each day, make sure that you do a self care practice, whether it's to wake up in the morning or have a detox bath or some kind of bath in the evening. Social media, if you're very active and it means something for you, set a post. Otherwise, just put it down. Plug your phone in the living room, like, and use an alarm clock. Do not let your phone be the first thing that you look at in the morning and the last thing that you look at before bed. No.
Those are my biggest challenges.
Yeah.
Those are that for me with all of this is going to be that, and also that I'm vegetarian. So, but that's not really so complicated
Hey,
because
just omit broths. That's the only thing.
right, right, or a veggie. I could do a veggie, veggie soups. And you made one the other night. I was drooling. I was like, it was
Oh,
like
the coconut.
coconut and
Oh
kale.
my God, yes.
Everything that recipe's in there also. You know what? Cheryl, everything in the book is vegetarian. The only thing
I saw
are
that.
the brodo broths, everything. And the only thing that's animal based again is the broth. And brodo has the mushroom seaweed, but you could just make your own vegetable broth. And as far as like the detox from the digital detox, like be with the anxiousness that may show up, right? Instead of trying to push it away and, I'm just going to breathe through it, like really observe it and process it and notice where you feel it. Go back to the chakra stuff, wherever your body is and wherever you feel it in your body. Before you do anything, first and foremost, just allow it. We've got to process, you know, a big,
Well, yeah.
go
Oh,
ahead,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, go
No,
ahead.
I was going to say it's more from, it's not so much from a social standpoint as it is for a business standpoint for me, because I do need to, I don't have to do it every day, but I do feel like I need to engage my audience on social platforms a few times a week.
Yeah. So if that's the case, then be very specific. And you know what, though? There's also no, uh, not only is there no shame, but I find it to be very commendable and respectable to say, okay, I'm going to post on these 3 days at this time, and it's going to be about this process that I'm in, specific to it. I'm not engaging because I'm taking a break and I'm going inside, and I wanted to share with you what I'm doing right now because it's important for me to stay connected with you, and I'm excited to engage with you after, and these are the things that have been coming up for me, and this is what I'm doing, and you know and making it relatable to your business, so that
Right.
so because then just be very intentional about it, but then just walk away from the scrolling. You can pick back up with engaging with people next week. you know you know we have to connect within, and it's not it's a very intentional process, and my experience has been that the more opportunities we take infrequently but intentionally to deeply connect and let it be the only thing, the more depth that we find when we go through our day-to-day lives, and the periods that we may fall off become shorter and shorter and shorter. Now,
Yeah.
I'm being careful with what I'm saying because there's never a time that we have to stop the practices. What we are really striving to do is to make it as much a part of our life, as committed to in our life as we commit to social media and brushing our teeth. So, observing and social media, even cell phones, like this has not been for our entire lives.
No.
Yet look how attached we are to it, as like most human beings, right? I find these things to be really fascinating. And myself as a subject matter. I mean, let's be honest, let's be real here. Like, I am my subject matter for all of these things. Very often I feel like people think like, oh man, she's totally calling me out like this bitch. And I'm like, no, I'm totally talking about myself. Because I'm like,
Right.
you know, um, But I'll tell you, so what happens in these moments for me during these times is I start to see who's really around me and therefore who it is that I prioritize. Meaning, there are so many of you that we have been working together for years. And I really, and so many who, some of you, a couple of you are new, but are, like the level of commitment is so there, and not commitment to me, commitment to you. Like you're really like, no, I'm doing this. I get it. I'm doing this. And there's not fluff, and it's very real. So during these times that I take, because I'm taking pause this week also. And Cheryl, I'll totally be like putting a couple of posts out, but I'll like put the post, I'll do like maybe one hashtag and put it down, and that's it.
Right.
And stay connected. But I'm also going to set, it's the week after this really is when I'll be doing it, because right now I'm here for you. Okay.
Right.
But
Right.
so which brings me to my point. Aside from you guys, because you are my priority, because you're the ones who show up, again, not for me, for yourself, over and over and over again. You are my priorities this week. Anybody else is going to get that. I'm sorry, I'm not available this week. And that's okay. It's not like a punishment. It's not like because you're not doing it. It's like, no, I'm like, I'm really being very intentional with where I put my time and my efforts and my energies, and, you know, mindful about what I'm cultivating. And if those people are really, you know, in within the tribe of what I'm doing at any given time, they won't miss a beat. Okay, cool. I'll talk to you. And full transparent communication during this time also. Like, it's not about making anybody else comfortable. And I'm not trying to make anybody uncomfortable. Like, this is just what I'm doing. No, I can't do that, but please do. You know? Does that make sense? It's this is the lifestyle detox part, right? This is why I'm very confident and comfortable calling it a lifestyle detox and cleanse. And just walk away from this with one thing. You don't have to do everything, but try a bunch of things and walk away with one thing. Even if that one thing is going to be, I'm going to take one bath and oil pull one day a week. I mean, yeah, one day a week. But damn it, I am going to do it one day a week. And you actually do. One thing.
I love that.
Yeah. It's practical, and I really reiterate that consistently through this program, because it's a hearty program. And what I'm offering you are tools and options. So it's kind of like a matrix. You take this and you put this and you add that, and you've got your own program from all of these elements with one, like overlying theme. Do the meditations, do the sleep part of it, which includes the digital detox specifically before bedtime. Be very nourishing with what you're putting into your minds before bedtime. Very nourishing, very intentional. If you know that you have combative people in your life, embrace the little white lie practice. I'm so sorry I can't talk right now. Oh my God, I just spilled a huge pot of soup. I'm so sorry. Just simply because you don't want to get into why you don't want to talk to them right now. Because you can't say that without getting into it. Well, you're combative and I'm detoxing. You imagine? Okay, you go ahead and have fun with that. Bye. Love you. Like, no, they're going to be combative. And it's not about them. That's really just all that it comes down to, is it's not about them. And there's really, the only gracious way that, to really, when you really want to really genuinely not have any conversation about it, is when sometimes I just embrace the little white lie, because I feel that, engaging in any conversation, I recently had somebody like say to me, I don't want to talk about something, and then tell me their perspective on every single little thing and say, and that's why I don't want to talk about it. And I'm like, well, that's not what I'm talking about. You just like dropped a bomb on me and was like, eat that, and walked away. Like, that's what happens. Like, okay, if that's what you wanted to do. But do you know, so
Well, that I've adopted a new philosophy. This has been going on for a while now, but when it comes to like my family or even my sisters or like I'll and my daughters and my husband, I'll start by saying, I just need to vent. Like
yeah,
that's
yeah,
it. I just
yeah,
need to, that's it.
yeah.
And they know, and they do the same with me also, so I'm not like sitting there offering my opinion as they're venting and spewing. They just want to drop it, like you said, share, and then I'm like, how do you feel? I feel better after, even if I don't have the answer. I just got to get it out.
Yeah, and that's totally fine because it's part of processing. But there's one thing, and be mindful about this. And I think it's actually an interesting direction to take the conversation, and not that either one of us were alluding to this, but there's a big difference in needing to vent to somebody something that you're processing, something that's going on with you. And it's another thing, like this person had done to me, that they were venting frustrations with me, and then like not wanting to hear the other half of the conversation. So venting is, it's processing. It's a healthy thing to do, and I think that it's great to lead with that when you want to have that processing conversation with somebody, because not a lot of people have even heard of empathic listening, much less even have the tool of empathic listening, which is being able to sit and hear from a feeling place of like, well, what am I feeling from them right now? How are they feeling? What's beneath the words, right? What's behind the words? Because when we embrace the words and it all becomes words, then somehow we need to either make it about us or have the answer, or any number of reactions, as opposed to just like feeling them, you know? And even if you find yourself in a position of needing to vent during this process, because, a lot of detoxification things are going to happen, and a lot of it is going to be processed, emotion and energy for sure, with the meditation, with the sleep, the nidra practice that I've provided for you, the yoga practices, yoga therapy, doing breath work. Um, and so don't be surprised if some of those toxins come out and process on their way out, right? So what you're looking for, should you have any kind of an emotional experience, an emotionally charged experience, is what the emotion is and why, not what the story is, not what the story is, because it's just your story. But where are you feeling it? Are you feeling it in your heart, emotional? Are you feeling it in your solar plexus? Is it your personal power? Does it have to do like, with how you're living your life, the choices that you're making, right? And if you're not sure where you're feeling and what the correlation is, first things first, before you come to me and ask me, not because I'm not here for you, I am, but first just sit with yourself, and whatever that first impression is that comes up, follow that. And if you get real, real stuck, I can help you get there. We can have a call and a conversation. But I really like, let it process. Notice how it feels. Notice where you feel it. Notice, like, literally just follow it and give word to it, like tension, shoulders, pressure, head, throat, like tight, blocked, right? Like get a feeling, and then stop applying words and just follow it and see what's going on there and what the emotion is and what's happening within you. And that doesn't mean that you're gonna like get up and be like, oh, that was fun, I'm all good now.
Yeah, I mean, there even this is like inexplicable, but it says everything. Is that I will wake up, whether it's in the middle of the night or first thing in the morning, and my hands are clenched.
Yeah, right, right. So
It's
you know,
wild. So I'm like, what was I thinking? What was I dreaming? What's going on? Did I feel that way before I went? And tight. I'm like, what am I doing to myself?
yeah.
So
So
I've
Cheryl,
had the nail marks in my palm. I've literally had, not every night, but I've had, especially when I was
not
pregnant.
not every night, but yes.
And it's like, oh, that's not good.
spend extra time doing the hand massage in the mornings. Make sure that you unplug and have a peaceful go to sleep time. Okay. And use the guided body scan meditation that I provided for you in the email. And there are more like it, tons online. Also, binaural beats and this Cephagio. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. Just to make sure that you have the correct wave. If it's alpha, beta, theta. I don't recall which one is. One is like energizing. One is for sleep. One is for focus. So just check. I want to say that it's delta waves, but I don't recall. But you can find those on Spotify and on YouTube for like hours and hours and hours. And
Yes.
it's like a drone, you know? So, okay, I need to get myself ready for practice in 30 minutes and get my kids some food. So we'll break off here, go through the booklet, you know, the parts that make you, the parts that are easiest, go ahead and get yourself like into your schedule, set up with those wrapped around your head. Pick out some recipes and get an idea of how you're going to do the food part of it for the week. Start with the easier parts, get yourself set up for success, and then if there's a couple of projects that you'd like to take on, go ahead and identify which ones those are. The bread, it seems like a lot of ingredients. It's one bowl. So like you mix it, you put it in its bread pan, you let it sit for a couple hours or overnight, you bake it, you turn it out, you bake it more, and it's done. And it's like it's incredible. I used to sell it for like $20 or $30 a loaf because it's so expensive to make, but it was so time consuming. I was like, you have to make it. So time consuming to make it for 20 people. Okay, guys, I hope to see you back here in 30 minutes. Otherwise, Sunday morning.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
So
Thank
Cher, I'm going
Yes,
to put that in my cart and
I'm so